Hi, my name is Ben Forbes, and I'm an AARP Colorado volunteer. AARP can see and feel the trends. People 50 and older are more active, both physically and mentally, than ever before. They aren't slowing down. In fact, they're preparing themselves to do more of the things they love. So many older adults are exercising and eating right daily. They're taking the time to learn new things, and they know the importance of life balance, making sure that leisure and fun are significant parts of their healthy lifestyle. As part of that get up and go attitude, we are hosting webinars like Eating for More Energy with culinary nutritionist Michelle Fox, where we can discover ways to keep our nutrition in check so that as we age, we can continue to do the things that we love to do without limitations. Tonight, Michelle will show us how to make some quick, easy, delicious, and nutritious appetizers to help you shine at your next summer picnic. In that lively spirit, we welcome you to enjoy our Eating for More Energy with Michelle Fox. While we hope that you learn something new and exciting, we want you to enjoy yourself, relax, and most importantly, have some fun. Please note that we are offering a closed caption option this evening. If you are interested in that option, click on the last red button at the bottom. If you are watching a recorded version, you may download the transcript under the Handouts tab, the fifth red button to the left that looks like paper. Also, if you're interested in a copy of tonight's recipe, it's located in the Handouts tab now. If you'd like to hear more about healthy living and nutrition, please check out our website at www.aarp.org/food/healthy-eating. We look forward to connecting with you tonight.
Thank you so much, Ben, and hello to our beautiful, fabulous, amazing AARP community. I'm Michelle Fox, culinary nutritionist, and I am so excited to be here. This is one of my favorites because the seasons are changing. We're getting invitations to summer events, hopefully mostly outside. That's the mama bear in me talking. And so the three healthy, easy, delicious, and super nutritious appetizers I'm going to teach to you tonight. There's going to be three. They're going to have different flavor profiles. So towards the end, you'll have to let me know which one is your favorite. And maybe some of you already know that you're like a savory or a sweets. But on that note, I would love to know and see where you're coming from. I noticed the chat box was already lighting up. So how about this? Tell me where you're coming from, if you haven't already, because I'm about to check that out in a moment. But also tell me if you already know that you're more a savory person or you like the sweets. I'm very curious to know who we have in the room. While you're typing in before we get going, just want to let you know a few housekeeping items. When you see me look to the right, that's just because I'm looking at the chat box. So you still have my full attention. I'm right here with you. I just might be over here with my eyes. And then two, all of the recipes that we're making tonight are yours for the taking. So if you look towards the middle of the screen, if you're on a laptop at the bottom middle, you'll see a red circle that looks like there's some paper stacked. If you click on that, you'll have a PDF download of the recipe that I created just for you. You're welcome. And then if you're on the iPad, I'm told that that circle with the papers is more on the left side of your screen. So look there if you're on the iPad, and then at the bottom for a desktop. All right, let's see who is in the room. And if you haven't met me before, there shall be dancing. So feel free to dance along with me, because dancing, when we're making the food, it just makes it that much more delicious. Okay, so we've got Catherine from Minneapolis. Hello. My husband lived there for a little while, so I've heard some stories about some very cold winters. So glad you're here. Let's see. Kathy says, I love seeing where folks live. Barbara's here from Tucson. Welcome. Frank and Walnut Creek. Welcome, Frank. I have an uncle that lives there. We love having Christmas there because typically no snow and a beautiful view. So great to have you here. We've got Ron in Delaware. I'm loving this. We've got like coast to coast. Thank you all so much for showing up. I promise to make it worth your while. All right, Shelly in the North Carolina mountains. Nice. Welcome. We've got Ray and Wayland. Okay, there's a lot. So we'd be here all night if I read all these. Thank you all for participating. It also looks like some of you are talking to each other already. I love that. Community in action. That is what we are here for. So with that, just know that you're welcome to write any of your questions in the comments. I will do my best to check there every few minutes or so. But if not, you have my word. I will save time at the end to answer any questions that might be lingering over any recipes, or if you have any nutrition questions. I am always happy to chat about that. So let me just double check before we jump in. Okay, Antoinette says she's on the sweet side. I hear you, Antoinette. And Serena says, love the download. Thank you. You're welcome, Serena. I'm glad you found it. Awesome. Okay, so we are going to be making a cucumber dill delight, a Sublime no bean hummus, and then we'll top it off with the basil fruit salad. So my sweet tooths in the house and my savory lovers, everybody's going to be covered. Okay, so we're going to start with the cucumber dill delight. Just so you know, with supplies, you can do these first two recipes in either a food processor or a blender. I obviously have both here tonight, but maybe you have two blenders, maybe you have two food processors, maybe you only have one and then you just have to rinse it out in between. It's all good because we're going to be blending up some deliciousness. So, first things first, I always ask my children, first rule, wash your hands. And yes, I did wash my hands before I turned the camera on. So, clean hands. Okay, so cucumber dill delight, if you're following along, pull that up. We're going to do all the ingredients from the sunflower seeds all the way down to the sea salt. And I'm going to make this one actually in my food processor, just because the sunflower seeds tend to come to the top and it's just easier to smush them down in the food processor. So we have our 1 cup of sunflower seeds. I will tell you, if you do have time in advance, you can make note on your recipe if you printed it out, that I like to actually soak sunflower seeds because that makes it a little bit easier to blend. So let's pour that in. Pour that in. 1 cup of delicious sunflower seeds. For anybody who's not cooking with us tonight and maybe has access to Dr. Google, can you tell me what sunflower seeds are good for? Because I'm telling you, all 3 of these appetizers are delightful to help us with healthy aging. We are all aging, that is inevitable, but we want to do it healthfully so we can enjoy these later years, right? Right, so I'll check back on the chat in a moment, but let's see who gets it first. I just want one beautiful reason why we want sunflowers in our diets. Okay, next up, 2 cloves of garlic. So this one is a little fluffy, it's got some extra skin on it. And as I'm peeling the garlic, I saw some movement in the chat. Let's see. Oh, somebody's asking if this will be recorded. Yes, so you are in luck. If you were here today, you will get a reminder that you can watch the replay in your inbox. So you will get that. Sometimes it's like 15 minutes after we finish. Sometimes it's the next day. But yes, you will all have access to the replay here. So nice, that skin came off very easily. I'm just going to chop off the woody ends. And I think the recipe says 2 cloves of garlic. We are garlic lovers in this household, so I'm going to cheat and do 3 because garlic is antiviral and anti-inflammatory. Another beautiful thing to help our skin age gracefully, help our digestive tracts heal gracefully. So I'm going to put that in. And let's see if anybody's told me why we want sunflower seeds. So Frank's asking, are the sunflower seeds raw or toasted? Wonderful question. So these are raw. And then, like I said, you want to soak them if you have time ahead of time, maybe 30 minutes to an hour. I think I soaked mine for about half an hour. So they're a bit softer. Toasted, you're going to get a different flavor profile typically. So you could use it, but then I would say definitely you're going to want to soak them if they're toasted. So thanks for asking, Frank. Let's see. All right, so nobody's gone to Dr. Google. Good, I'm going to take that to mean you're all cooking with me tonight. All right, so sunflower seeds actually have sesame in there, sesame in the molecules, which are very helpful for our skin elasticity and our eye health. So sunflower seeds, they make an excellent snack if you want to toast them and have them toasted and salted. Great grab and go snack. But also, obviously, delicious for a dip. So let's keep going. So we've got the 1 cup sunflower seeds. We've got the 3 garlic cloves. What's next? We've got 4 teaspoons of olive oil. I'm just gonna eyeball it, but you're welcome to measure it out if you want for some of my newbies. And we're going to do juice from half a lemon. And yes, feel free to do the half a lemon dance. I'm just gonna slice this lemon in half. I call this my newfangled juicer, but feel free to use the hand squeeze, whether it's hand over to make sure that the seeds aren't getting in, or if you have one of the juicers where you're like hand pressing it, it's all good. We just want about half of lemon's juice to get that delicious tang to this dill dip. Whew. And then lemons are an amazing source of vitamin C, which most of us know are great to keep our immune system strong. Another healthy aging tip. I'm gonna put this lemon juicer to the side. And then lastly, before we start blending and doing the shoulder shake, we're gonna do 2 teaspoons of sea salt. All right, and again, I'm gonna eyeball this. Feel free to measure it yourself. And now, let's blend it up. Here we go. And before I even start, just know it is gonna rise to the top, so you might have to blend for a few moments and then scrape and then blend. So let's do that. Uh-oh, let me turn that off so nobody gets electrocuted. I've got my tech in the house. Thank you, love. And feel free to shoulder shake. You can even shake your hips if you want. As it blends, it blends. Ah. Now this one, I will tell you, I promise, it tastes better than it looks. It looks a little bit like mushy oatmeal, which, I mean, I love mushy oatmeal, but there's a purpose to why this dip is going to be this way. So trust the process and just know you're about to have some deliciousness in your kitchen. So I am just scraping down the sides. And I'm gonna do a little bit more because I do want this one smooth. I don't want to see any of the sunflower seed chunks in there. So let's go again. And of course, try a new dance this time. As it blends. Okay, that is beautiful. So we're gonna leave this to the side for now. I'm just scraping down the edges. Oh, I just got this beautiful aroma of the garlic and the lemon. 2 of my favorite smells in the world. And now we are going to take our English cucumber, take the plastic off if it came in the plastic, and then rinse it. I always like to rinse my produce, and you just never know what's ending up on the skin. And then we're gonna make actually horizontal cuts, and we're just gonna slice this entire cucumber horizontally because that gives us more space to put our topping. Spoiler alert, this is the topping that's gonna go on top of this gorgeous English cucumber. And I don't know if you saw that, but I learned this at culinary school, which is to always have an extra bowl on the side so you're not running back and forth with the trash. I'm doing that because my actual trash is right behind me. So it's just nice when you're cooking to have a place to put the scraps and then you can just throw it away later. So with these horizontal cuts, you want them, I don't know, maybe half an inch, maybe less, but we want them finger size because we'll be serving them to eat with our fingers. And before I slice any more, let me see if we had any questions before I move on. Let's see. Cheryl adds that sunflower seeds are rich in healthy fats. Yes, and beneficial plant compounds. Nicely done. All right, Brenda's asking, could you also use pumpkin seeds? You know, I've never tried that, but I would say Probably not, just because the husks are so tight. But if they're the pumpkin seeds, like the pepitas, where the husks are already off, absolutely. With the husks on, I would suggest maybe soaking them for a minimum of an hour, just in regular filtered water, and then try it, because you're right, that could be delicious now that I think about that. So yeah, if you try it, let us know. Come over to facebook.com. You can look for the Colorado AARP page, and I'd love to see any of your photos there. Or if you all are on Facebook on your own, if you want to post any of the gorgeousness that you're coming up with, tag the Colorado AARP. Okay, I'm gonna get this. Third time's a charm, right? Tag the Colorado AARP page, and then we can all celebrate your delights. Okay, let's see. I thought I saw one more thing. All right, Simone says the silver bowl is in the way. All right, well then let me move that. So I definitely want you all to see what I'm doing. I'm looking over. Okay, hopefully that helps. Thank you for letting me know. Again, community in action. I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. And then Kathy's saying the scraps can be added to the compost. Thank you and amen. We're trying our first garden. My husband just built a garden bed for us last week, so I'm really excited to try the composting as well. So if you have any tips, again, come on over to the Facebook page. Let us know, because I would love to learn more about gardening and compost. Let's see. And then Frank says, yes, it's good to keep compost bin on the counter. Love it. Loving this community. Okay, so let's keep slicing. And I'm going to choose, just because of time and because I'm on the demo side, I'm just cutting half. Feel free to go ahead and cut the whole thing, because we did make enough toppings for the entire English cucumber. Grab, if you will, a nice serving tray. I have this fun serving platter, but you can grab a plate. I just like to make servingware pretty, because then I think it makes it that more enticing to get this nutrition in our body. Okay, so line up the cucumbers in any fashion you see fit that works on the plate. And then I'm just going to take some sea salt and sprinkle that. Just do a light sprinkle on top of the cucumber. Doesn't it smell like spring? I don't know. There's something about a fresh cut cucumber. It just smells like almost like the first rain. With it's spring or summer. I don't know. I'm loving the scents in this kitchen, and I'm hoping you are loving the scents and the aromas in your kitchen as well. All right, I'm gonna leave this where it is. If you have like a little melon baller, grab that. But if not, a simple tablespoon works as well. So we are going to take our scooper, whether that's a spoon or the melon baller, and we're just gonna place a nice chunk, love that word, a nice chunk in the middle of each slice. And take your time, and feel free to push it down with your finger. You might want to make a little indentation, because we are going to put a nice sprig of dill on top. And dill, much like its cousins, basil, parsley, what are some other great herbs? Cilantro. They are all wonderful healers for our kidneys and for our livers. So we also want the green herbs as much as possible, at every meal if possible, to contribute to that healthy aging, because we want clean livers and clean kidneys. All right, this is smelling so delicious. All right, so we're gonna keep loading that on. It's not looking fun. And last one on my plate. So right now it looks like I have 8 slices. So I'm gonna push these to the side for a moment. And then let's pull out our dill. And as you can see, I have my dill stored in a glass jar. In a lot of my classes, I talk about getting the plastic out of your kitchen, because a lot of plastics contain xenoestrogens. And the xenoestrogens get into our brain cells, which rewires a lot of the messengers, as we know, called hormones. And we just don't want that in our bodies. So grabbing the dill, the glass jar, I'll put that to the side so you can continue to see this beautiful platter. And I'm just gonna take a few sprigs and I just pinched them off with my finger. So you can see it's about, half inch to an inch. And one, I'm placing it on top for the aesthetics, as my bonus daughter says. I love when she calls aesthetics. But two, because as I just shared, this is really darn good for our livers and for our kidneys. And I just love the taste of dill. For my friends who don't love dill, no worries. Grab out your basil. Grab out your parsley. Grab out your cilantro. Although if you don't like dill, there's a good chance you don't like cilantro. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a DNA thing, but we're just gonna play with this. We just wanna get as many green things on this plate as possible. And as I'm placing the dill on top, I'm gonna double check. I saw some movement here in the comments. Oh, Sarah says rosemary. That's a beautiful herb. Nicely done. Yes, ma'am. And Ruth said, can we see up close how much you put on? Absolutely. So this is probably as close as I can get there, but you can see I used the melon scooper for mine, but if that were a tablespoon, I would say that's just like a heaping tablespoon. And if you want it to look a little bit more fashionable, if you're using the tablespoon, I would literally grab it from the tablespoon and then ball it up and then put the nice little ball in the center. So thank you for asking. Okay, Serena says, gorgeous. Woo, I love it. And it smells good too. Okay, and Laura says, since you do not use plastics for the herbs, do you utilize plastics to store food in the refrigerator or the freezer? Love that question. And I'll do it a little bit backwards. Freezer, yes. I do use the gallon containers often to freeze my fish and sometimes to freeze our avocado. If I have leftover avocado, that freezes really well. And I don't mind it in the freezer just because it does freeze so fast. It's not necessarily rubbing against the plastic. Anything else though, I'm pretty good about using the glass. So I've got all kinds of sizes. You can see I have my celery in like a ball jar. We've got the strawberries, the blueberries in glass. What else? I can tell you I got the ball jars, I think at like Home Depot or Lowe's, one of those stores. This glass jar comes with a plastic lid. Maybe I got it from one of the home decorating stores. I don't know, but I also know you can get really inexpensive glass jars from like Costco or Goodwill or AARP, one of those stores. So I just encourage you to get creative with it. I can tell you we also recycle like our pickle jars, we recycle our olive jars, and we just reuse that for anything that we may have previously used plastic for. So I hope that helps. Okay, let's see how we are doing on timing. Okay, we are right on time. Love it. Okay, and so, actually, let me finish the dill just because it's so beautiful and I want to eat these later. And at the end, just as a heads up, since we are making 3 different appetizers, I thought it'd be fun to also experiment with a charcuterie board because I feel like, I don't know if it was COVID and the time that a lot of us had to experiment, but it just feels like the charcuterie boards are becoming more and more popular these days. So I want all my friends to be cool. I want you all to be the stars at your next picnic or your next get together. And so hopefully these appetizers will move you in the right direction. Okay, so there you have it. That is our dill cucumber appetizer. So for now, I'm gonna put it to the side. I'll bring it back out towards the end. I'll put it right here. Let's see if we can still see it. No, that's out of screen for now, but I promise it's coming back. Okay, so our next savory and my sweets, friends, hang on, we're getting there, I promise. So this next one is called the Sublime No Bean Hummus. If we are in a classroom, I'm just gonna pretend like you all are sitting here working with me in the room. I think you might all raise your hand to say, beans give me gas. Yes, I'm a nutritionist. I'm allowed to say the gas. We can talk about digestive issues. And especially as we do age, it's just our digestive systems get a little weaker. And so it's great to find foods that maybe we love, but to be able to cook them in a healthier way to support our health. So that is why I love this particular recipe, because there's no beans in it, but it's an amazing hummus. So where should we begin? I'm going to use my blender for this one. And so we are very similar to the first one. We're just going to load up the ingredients in the blender and start mixing. But I'm going to take a little sippy sip first. All this excitement. It's got me a little thirsty. Okay, so our first ingredient is 1 zucchini. So again, feel free to use your food processor or your blender. And you know what? I'm actually going to clean off my chopping board real quick because I don't want to mix my dill with the hummus. I want 2 different flavor profiles. Because with this hummus, I would suggest either using the crudité, so the different chopped veggies to dip, and or some gluten-free crackers. And I'll show you 2 of the brands that I really love eating and that my family enjoys eating as well. So in the blender goes the 1 zucchini, which I did rinse right before we started. And I'm just going to cut it into 4s to make it easier. I have a Vitamix, so it's really high-speed blender. I probably could put the whole thing in, but just to be safe, we're going to do 4 pieces. Throw that in. If you have a less powerful blender, just chop smaller pieces. It's all good. We have time. And then I'm going to do half of an avocado. This one is actually left over from a smoothie I had earlier. So, see, I've got the half, and I'm just going to do 1 little knife cut there. Bam! And we'll get that out. And then I'm just going to make a couple quick slits in the avocado, like so. And we're just going to squeeze it in so I can save a utensil. But also, you know what? It might be easier for you to see if I move this here. I am just squeezing that avocado in straight from its shell. That actually smells good too. Maybe I'm just extra hungry. Everything's smelling extra good tonight. All right, avocado, I saw some movement. Let me double check here. Let's see. Oh, good. You all are talking to each other. I've been looking up. So one thing was the salt too much. Okay, so love that question because you said salt. I'm not sure that I just will say I want to be super, super clear. In all of the recipes I use, I only use sea salt or Himalayan pink salt. And that is because they're natural minerals that come from our planet. The white stuff that we often sadly see in restaurants or even in our own kitchen sometimes, that is purely made out of chemicals, and that is where we are going to get the blood spikes and the high blood pressure. And so I do not recommend using the white sea salt, not even the kosher salt. I recommend using only the sea salt or the pink Himalayan because, fun fact, they both have very similar pH levels to our blood. Yeah, I'll say that again. Pink Himalayan salt and sea salt both have very similar pH levels to our blood. And so, of course, I'm not a doctor, and I'm not your doctor, so big disclaimer there. I will just say that in my experience and in all of my research, both of those salts do not have any effect on your blood sugar. So I say go to the taste profile that you prefer. I hope that helps. Okay, let's see, we say yum. Freezer, is it okay to put glass jars with the metal lids in the freezer? Is it not dangerous? So depends on what glass jar it is. I would say, of course, you want the sturdy one. So again, the ball jars are pretty thick. I'm trying to think of anything that I would not put in the freezer. The main thing I would just say to be careful when you're putting glass jars with lids in the freezer is to make sure that it's not filled all the way to the top. because as we know, the liquid does expand. So anything with liquid, if I'm going to freeze it, I don't go higher than 3/4 of the level to the top. Okay. So Serena says, totally agree about the salt. Awesome. Sarah's saying that was Himalayan pink. Nicely done. All right. Sherry says, the white salt is great for getting red wine stains out of your carpet. I like that. Yes. Use that white salt for some industrial purposes. You don't have to throw it away. Just don't put it in your body. This is a very smart community. Okay, is there a salt brand that I recommend? You know, honestly, no. I've tried a few different ones, and I would say as long as it's natural, you should be fine. We tend to get the bulk pink Himalayan salt from Costco, and we just pour it in our little shaker here. So I say experiment with different flavors. I know even and now I'm being self-conscious, it's either Celtic or Celtic, but you know what I'm talking about. The Celtic salt, I know they have a lot of different flavor profiles, but that's another beautiful natural salt to play with as well. All right. Okay, now you guys are still talking to each other. You guys are amazing. Okay, so let's keep going. So we've got the zucchini in. We've got half of an avocado in. Now we've got a 1/4 cup tahini or almond butter. And I prefer tahini just because it's delicious, and it also has the sesame in it, which is great for our skin elasticity. And it just kind of has like a nice toasty flavor to it. With that said, I know tahini is not for everybody, and if you maybe didn't want to splurge on something different, or you weren't quite sure that you were going to use it for the long term, no worries. Your girl's got you. Try this with almond butter. You'll still get that same texture and a similar taste profile. And you can see I'm kind of poking the tahini right now because it is an all-natural product. And so a lot of times with the natural products, the oils kind of rise to the top, and you've got that nice meaty part of the nut or the seed at the bottom. And so I'm just mixing it to make sure we get the right proportions. Okay, so 1/4 cup. So I'm going to pour that in. Looks like that's exactly about how much I have left in here. So I'm going to do the oils and the meaty part. And let's see what the chef is happening. LOL, thank you. You guys are awesome. How long does the tahini last in the refrigerator? Awesome question. I will tell you, I don't even remember the last time I bought this tahini. So that's at least probably around the holidays. So I'm guessing, like Christmas holidays. So I'm guessing we've had this 5-6 months, and it still smells fresh. I will tell you my mistake, which, yeah, I don't mind admitting my mistakes. We're all friends, right? My mistake is that when I was preparing for this show, I set it upright, but in the refrigerator, and hopefully you'll use this tip for yourself as well, even with your almond butter, to store it upside down, because that way you have a better chance of getting the oils and the meaty part of the nut or the seed to stay intact. So we're almost there. Thank you for your patience. All right. Oh my gosh. Yum! Okay. Tahini in the bowl. All right, so we got the zucchini, half of an avocado, 1/4 cup tahini or the almond butter if you have that, half of an inch of peeled ginger. So one of my little cheats today, I will tell you, I don't love scraping the ginger, but I do have the dehydrated ginger that I just get in the spice section. And so I just kind of soaked it in water to rehydrate it. So I'm putting that in the dippy dip. I'm gonna grab the scooper to scoop that out. Nice. And then next, 1 clove of garlic. Okay. Use the garlic bud from the last recipe we put together. And this skin didn't come off quite as simple, so I'm going to chop off the woody edge, and then I'm just going to turn my knife flat and then hit it with palm of my hand to flatten it. Bam! And now the skin just rolls right off. Okay. So Laura's asking, is pecan butter healthy too? Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. I've never had pecan butter, but yes, pecan is definitely one of the healthy nuts. And we want that healthy nut because it has the healthy fat, which feeds our brains. So that sounds like that would be amazing in this recipe. Let me know if you're trying that. Okay, and Sarah says, I love the smell of fresh ginger, right? Me too. Now I have it on my fingers mixed with the ginger. That's my idea of a good time. Ginger and garlic on my fingertips. Alrighty, here we go. And next I say a pinch of cayenne or paprika. And that is either going for the flavor profile or just for the color. So I will say if you want a little spice, which my husband, who's right behind the camera, he loves spice, so we're doing cayenne tonight. Want a happy husband. But then paprika gives it a light smoky flavor, but I don't know. I don't find paprika that flavorful, but it adds beautiful color. So if you want that, go for it. Okay, I think that is it. Now we're gonna blend this baby up. And similar to the first appetizer, there's a great chance you're gonna need to press down the sides as we go. And also, more dancing coming your way. Here we go. Longer, but it's worth the wait. It will be delicious. I am going to taste mine before I scrape too much, because I want to make sure it has enough sea salt and enough flavor before we present it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that was an intuition thing or what, but I want salt. And it's not an intuition thing. Look at that. Another mistake. It's not in the recipe. Let's put some sea salt in because I want flavor. If I'm going to eat some hummus, I want it flavorful. And it has flavor, but I want that sea salt flavor as well. So I'm just going to add, see, that was about a teaspoon and a half. That's what I'm going to try this time. We might need more. Let's find out. Before I move on, I will check. I saw some things moving in the chat over here. Let's see, Rainey says, a very cheerful kitchen. You get jazz hands, Rainey. I hope so. That is my goal, to make nutrition fun so you get it in your body. Okay. Let's see, aesthetically pleasing and tantalizing to the taste buds. Oh, we've got a poet in the house. Love this, Rainey. All the beautiful colors and your delightful and upbeat personality makes this presentation extra special. Okay. My night's made. Good night. I'm leaving. Thank you. And thank you so much for being here. Truly. This makes it more fun when I get the feedback and the comments and the community connection. So thank you all. Okay, so I added the teaspoon and a half of sea salt, and let's go back to blending. Fingers crossed, this kind till we get it right. And I hope this is helpful for you to see as well, that yes, you may see a recipe and it may be tested 10, 15 times by 10, 15 other people, but everybody's taste buds are so unique. So I want you to have ownership. In fact, let me pass you the baton of permission to keep trying things to your liking. I want you to like this food. Okay, here we go. And that did it. All right. So if you're writing things down, 1.5 teaspoons sea salt. I will make a note for next time. So thank you all for witnessing this with me. Excuse me. Hummus just kicked my throat. I think it was the cayenne pepper. Okay, so we're going to keep that to the side as well. We will play that at the end. We've got now a few moments to jump into the sweet side for my sweet tooth friends. And with this one, it's kind of funny because my children tease me, or maybe I tease them, I don't know. But I always tell them or ask them, do you want me to make my famous fruit salad? And every time I say that, they roll their eyes because they're like, it's not famous, it's just delicious. So if you all will, play along with me, let's make my famous basil fruit salad. Maybe one day I will be famous. I don't know. So I'm pulling out about a cup of strawberries. I think the recipe says 2 cups. But for purposes of demonstration, I'm just going to do 1 cup to make it go a little bit faster, but feel free to follow along on the recipe and do the full 2 cups because it's really good. And you're going to want this for leftovers. Excuse me, you're going to want this for leftovers if you don't finish it tonight. So I'm just going to quickly slice these strawberries. So that was about a medium-sized strawberry, and there's about 4 pieces that came out of that. So just so you can see the size that we're slicing it. And can anybody tell me it's actually many minerals, but can you tell me one mineral and or benefit of eating berries? You get extra credit if you tell me the benefit of strawberries in particular. Let's see. Oh yay, you guys are talking to each other. Community in action, that just lights my heart up. Love that. And I believe in the replay, for those of you who are watching the replay or coming back for the replay, I believe you have access to the chat box as well. So let's see if anybody's told me the benefits of berries. So Mary says, I read that strawberries last longer in the glass jars. Yes, they do. Nicely done, Mary. And like I said, I put all of my produce that needs to be stored in the glass jars. And that, I will say, I guess the side note is that's obviously for the produce that I'm prepping ahead. But for something like cucumber or zucchini, I definitely wait to the last minute before cooking those, because those two in particular, they actually start losing vitamin C the moment you start cutting into them. So I don't store those in glass jars. And my avocados, of course, I keep these intact for as long as possible. But as you can see, the basil, the cherries, the broccoli, it's all in the glass jars. Okay, Janine is saying magnesium. Yes. Neil is saying rich in vitamin C. You win. Although it looks like Janine beat you, Neil. Sorry, Janine, you win. Very good, very high in vitamin C, which again, an excellent source to heal and protect our immune systems. So beautiful. Let's see, Barb says, a benefit for sure is that fresh strawberries are in season right now in Kentucky. That makes me happy. That makes me happy for you. That's amazing. So I think it's gonna take us a couple of weeks, if not months, for our strawberries to come out here in Denver. So enjoy some for us, Barb. That's awesome. Cheryl says that they are high in fiber and prevents high blood sugar. Yes. The only caveat I would say with that, Cheryl, that's like 2 or 3 strawberries. yes. But anything more than a handful, that's actually going to raise your blood sugar because of the fructose in the strawberries. But yes, amazing source of fiber, so well done. Okay, next we're going to do 2 cups of blueberries. And again, I'm just going to do 1 cup, so I'm having the recipe. But feel free to keep the full recipe. Blueberries, besides the fact they're so delicious and about to go in my mouth right now, are amazing for our brain health. Particularly wild blueberries are not only great for our brain health, but they are liver detoxifiers. I just learned that a few months ago, which is like, aha. And so I buy the wild blueberries in the frozen food section, and I just pull them out in the mornings and I put them in my smoothies when I'm drinking the smoothies for breakfast, because it's just extra detoxification. Why not? Okay, so we got the strawberries, we've got the blueberries, and now I say 15 ounces of mandarin oranges, and I said in light syrup. I have yet to see them with no syrup. That definitely would be my preference because we don't love the sugar, but the light syrup is going to be a lot better than the full shebang. Okay, so I'm actually going to pour out some of this syrup over in my sink, but I'm not going to pour out all the syrup, just so you know, just maybe half, because we do still want some of that syrup to sweeten the pot. We'll go ahead and I just put about a little more than half the mandarin oranges in there. And then next, what I love about this fruit salad is we get best of both worlds. We get the detoxifying properties of basil, or if you have mint, I know a lot of us have mint in our gardens, this would be beautiful to add basil and or mint. Today I'm just using the basil, but we've got the sweetness and the vitamin C from the fruit, also the brain health from the fruit. And then with the basil, which looks like I'm doing about 5 large leaves, adds our detoxification properties. And I'm just going to choply, how about coarsely chop? I am coarsely chopping the basil. Sometimes my chops are thin when I have more patience. Sometimes they're a little thick. So I am somewhere in the middle. So I chopped it one direction. Now I'm going in the opposite direction to get about medium, coarsely chopped basil or basil from my friends across the pond. And then I'm just going to sprinkle that on top. And the recipe says a handful. So if you're following the recipe and you're going full out with the 2 cups of each of the fruits, then I would say maybe do a little bit more basil than I've just put in. And now, as simple as that, we're just going to mix it all together. Oh my gosh. This is just like summertime in a bowl. This is so joyful. All right, so I'll show you what that looks like. Isn't that gorgeous? Let's see if you can see that. Now it's moving. Okay, not gonna make too much of a mess on the counter yet, but so that is our sweetness. So to make our beautiful charcuterie boards, let's make space on the counter. I'm telling you, you're going to be the star at your next party. A little extra basil in my hand. So I am using white today, just so that it will pop a little bit easier for you to be able to see. And before I start plating, I'm going to double check to see if there's any questions. Let's see. Okay, so Sarah says, I missed what she said about the can of oranges. Did she put the juice in the bowl too? Awesome question. So yes, I put half of the juice in, poured half out, poured half into the bowl, just to get that extra flavor and sweetness around the other fruits. Because as we know, strawberries can sometimes be a little tart. So I find that light mandarin orange syrup, just sweetens it up that much more. Okay. Oh, Laura says there's currently a recall on strawberries in Pennsylvania. I am sorry, that stinks. And maybe that's another sign for all of us just to be our own gardeners, right? Just grow our own food. That is my biggest goal. Well, I've got a lot of goals in this life, but that is one of the biggest goals my husband and I have, is to build a garden so we can live off the land, kind of like in the old days, the good parts of the old days. So I'm sorry about that, Laura. Okay. Oh, yeah, I'm so glad, Debbie. So glad you're here. And then Brenda says, do you use lids on all jars? Awesome question. So I'm going to pause really quick because I think your children want me and my hubby. But do I use lids on all the jars? So I will say no, I don't. So this dill that you see, this is exactly what it looks like in the fridge. The cherries, I probably could leave them open, but I do happen to have just a screw-on lid that goes there. What else? I will tell you that this broccoli here, it happens to have a lid, but I keep it loose because if it doesn't get any air, it tends to ferment really fast. And nobody loves the smell of fermented broccoli. So I kind of leave the lid open that way. With my carrots, similar. I have a similar size jar, and I fill the jar up all the way with water, and the carrots stay fresh for up to like 3.5 weeks if they're bathed in lovely water there. And I don't have the lid on my carrots. So I hope that helps. Let's see. Great. Okay. Well, then let's get to plating. All right. So let's start from the beginning. So we have our beautiful cucumber dill appetizer. I'm just going to put that right in the middle of the plate. Or that doesn't quite fit. Let's do it long ways and then get creative. There we go. Okay, and now I'm going to put this gorgeous hummus in one bowl. And for those of you who used a blender, don't be shy with that spatula. Just get in there and get that gorgeous nutrition into the bowl. Oh, this is gonna be so yummy. Did I mention I'm hungry? Anybody else hungry in the room? I hope this helps to alleviate some of that hunger. So we've got hummus on that side. And now we're gonna spoon up some gorgeous, famous basil fruit salad in the other bowl. And then I promised you that I would share 2 of my favorite brands for gluten-free crackers. And whether you identify as gluten intolerant or not, I often recommend to my clients to stick with gluten-free whenever possible, just because gluten, dairy, any wheat products tend to be very inflammatory for most of our bodies. And even if you didn't believe me, I mean, why not try it so we can all age gracefully and healthfully, right? Okay, so we have our masterpiece of the things that we've created here. I'll get off my soapbox, I promise. Maybe, probably not. Okay, and then I'm gonna just grab some baby carrots. I'll put that to the side. The crackers that I mentioned, I found these, and don't worry, I'm not endorsed by anything you see here. It just happens to be what my family and I love. These Crunchmaster Multigrain. We get this big old box at Costco, which is delicious. But I've also seen them at King Soopers and Sprouts, the regular grocery stores here. And then Simple Mills. They're made out of almond flour. They've got lots of delicious flavors. The one I prefer is rosemary and sea salt. So I'm going to pour a few crackers close to the hummus side. And you get the idea. I would probably put more crackers to load them here. And then try some of these crackers on the other side. And then we've got radish that we could slice and use as a dipper for the hummus. We've got bell pepper that would be beautiful if it were sliced, and that could be a great dipper. We've got the broccoli florets you can put on your plate. Another beautiful, delicious dipper, nice and easy. And what else? I think those are my main ideas and what I have out right now. But again, I just encourage you to stay creative, stay curious, make your food as beautiful as possible, because then we're motivated to eat it, right? So let's see if I can lift this without spilling it. You never know what's going to happen on these shows, right? So we've got our no bean hummus, we've got our dill cucumber appetizer, and we've got our basil fruit salad. And again, the beauty now is up to you. So if you are on Facebook, we'd love for you to snap a photo and then tag the Colorado AARP Facebook page, or just go directly to the facebook.com page. I don't know why I keep saying .com. The Facebook page, Colorado AARP. Load your photo there, and we'd love to celebrate your creations. All right, I see some more movement before I get out of here. Let's see. Great fun, yay. Laura's asking, how long does the hummus last in the refrigerator? Great question. I would say 3 to 4 days, and that's mainly because of the zucchini. If we had steamed or added any kind of heat to the baked zucchini, I would say up to a week, but because it's raw, I probably need to go longer than 3 to 4 days with this one. Let's see, Trader Joe's has great crackers too. Awesome, thank you, Brenda. I haven't tried them. Mary says, celery, yes, thank you. I did have this, oh, that's why I didn't see it. You could see it. Yes, celery would be an amazing dipper for the charcuterie board as well. Sherry says, looks delish. I hope so. I hope you get to try this if you're not trying it right now. Oh, yay, you guys are amazing. All right. Well, before we go, just want to let you know, we would love to have you come back. I will be back here in August, actually August 4th to be exact, and we're making one of my favorite dinners, which is curry turkey bowls over a bed of cauli rice. So the weather should be probably changing again then, although no, August is probably still warm. But anyhow, it's still an amazing dish. But we will bring the heat with the curry turkey bowls over cauli rice. So I hope you join us for that fun as well. Let me check one more time to see if there's any questions before we sign off. Oh, good. Hopefully, Brenda, hopefully I answered that for you. So August 4th, we'll be right here, 6:30 Mountain, in my kitchen. And thank you, thank you. You guys are so welcome. Thank you for showing up for this presentation. Thank you for showing up for this community. And just thank you for being here. You guys have been truly wonderful. Have a beautiful evening, and hopefully I'll see you very soon. Good night.